inspire. Turn up, turn up, turn up, turn up, turn up to Central TV. Turn up, turn up, turn up, turn up, turn up to Central TV. Veronica the boss for Central TV. She here to give you the best. Come and listen, everybody, to Central TV. We here to give you the best. Come and listen, enjoy the show. Come and listen to Central TV. We the best in time. Turn up, turn up, turn up, turn up, turn up to Central TV. Turn up, turn up, turn up, turn up, turn up to Central TV. Veronica the boss for Central TV. She yet to.
All right, all right, all right. A very good afternoon, a very good evening, and a very good night to all of you who are watching us here on our Primetime Friday on Samdra TV. So we have resorted to moving the Friday segment of Samdra TV on Fridays because we now have a minister who will be occupying our Sunday section of the show, who will be talking about our religious hours on Sundays. So now we have moved the Fridays back to Primetime Friday. We started as Primetime Friday, so now we're going back to Primetime Friday. But today we will be looking at conversations that are affecting that's involving Liberia and as well as the society as a whole. We are shifting our youth focus from politics, and we are having a more meaningful conversation today. We'll be talking about the educational sector, if it is preparing youth for real life situation. We'll be discussing financial literacy, with the question being, should financial literacy be taught in high school? And we'll also be looking at our high school students, or our students now learning for knowledge or just for the grades. Those are very important questions. And we'll look at the impacts that technology have had on our educational system. Is it helpful? Is it harmful? Is it distracting? We'll look at the issue of of mental health. Is mental health, or should mental health be discussed in high school? Should it be taught as a topic on its own? And lastly, we'll look at the grading skills of exams. Should exams or standardized exams be used as a measuring stick to know whether the student is intelligent or the student have understood what has been taught? So those are our topics that we'll be looking at this evening on Samdra TV. So we'll briefly take our short break, and then we'll be right back to get our conversation rolling and rolling and rolling.
Ladies and gentlemen, it is time for the Central TV.
I love
Central TV is here. We here to inform you, listen and be inspired. Central TV is here. We the best now in time. Listen and be inspired.
There it is. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are back. We are back, and we'll start talking about our educational system in Liberia. Is it providing, and is it preparing youths for real life situations? So if you look at the educational system in Liberia, if it relates to the high school skills before going to universities and colleges and then university. The thing about it is, like, many education system, especially in Liberia, focus heavily on the theoretical aspect of it and exams aspect of the education, but then they lack the practical skills in preparing for life, such as the communication skills, the problem solving skills, the financial management, career readiness, and so on and so on and so on. These things are not taught in high school. And because they are not taught in high school, we do not have, uh, communication being taught. I know English people say English, but is that really preparing us? So we not looking at that side. We're not looking at the portion also. Uh, Practical examples are not being taught, like problem solving, how to solve problems, how to financially manage, how to prepare for your career path. These things are not being looked at in education. They are not being, you know, prioritized. And as such, we found many schools lack or do not have the capability of producing wonderful students, other than the students being smart on their own. What we expect the school to do is we expect schools to better connect in the classroom setting. Schools should be the place that connect the real world setting in the classroom setting. There should be a connection between the schooling process and the educational process in and out of what we are doing. So because we don't have schools preparing students for real life situations, sometimes many students loses interest in going to school because one, they are not academically strong. They don't want to read and write every day. But they are not being taught the basic skills, education. I mean, they're not being taught the communication, the problem solving, like I mentioned. What are some ways to manage problems? What are some ways to better communicate? Now, these things are not being taught in schools, especially high school setting. Because of these things not being taught, but our students now just go ahead and just go to classes, come home from classes, but they don't know how to apply those things they're learning in school in the real world. So if you ask me personally, I would tell you that yes, I understand and I get why theories and exams are being used as evaluation, but life or practical life lessons should also be incorporated in the curriculum. Yes, students want to go to high school. They want to go to school. They want to score the A's and want to score the B's. But are scoring those A's and B's preparing you for the future? There's something we refer to in Africa and Liberia as street smart. We know people, some of our friends are street smart. So when they go after the classroom, they know how to handle business. When they go in the neighborhoods, when they go to playgrounds, they know how to handle business because they are using their own personal experience and their own personal skills to get out and be street smart. So not many emphasis are placed on the educational sector. So I think that there needs to be a way to connect the classroom learning experience to the real world learning experience. Now, I'm not saying it's going to be easy. It's not going to be easy. There will be struggles in curriculum. But once you don't connect the real life situations with the classroom situations, are you really teaching the youth? Are you preparing the youth for the future? Because yes, calculus are all great, mathematics are all great subjects. But at what point in time are they going to use mathematics outside of life? When things get tough, we don't have any practical skills to use in life situations. Because of that, many of our young people, of our young students, they do not have the ability to be street smart. But then you have street smarts who know how to control the street. Outside the classroom, they are dominant. They are focused, they are determined. But outside the classroom, but want to get into the classroom because they want to score A's and B's. Because of that, they do not have the proper knowledge to handle the situation that's happening outside. So we are encouraging schools and we are encouraging educational systems to connect the classroom experience with the real world experience. Use those two experiences and better prepare the youth in the educational sector. I want to move on to our next topic, financial literacy. I have a question. Should financial literacy be taught in high school? Should it be taught in high school? If you ask me, I would say yes. It should be taught in high school because apologies, guys. Yes, if you ask me about financial literacy, I'll tell you it should be taught in high school. The reason why it should be taught in high school because it helps young people to understand more about budgeting, about savings, about having credits, about having debts, about investing, paying taxes. If you're in the worst world, I pay tax. If you teach financial literacy in high school, students will have the knowledge on how to save, on what to save, how to invest, what to invest in. So, but because they're not being taught in high schools, students in high schools now lack all of this basic knowledge. They lack budgeting. They don't know how to budget. They don't know how to save. They don't know how to use their credit. They don't know what a debt is. They don't know what a tax is because they are not being taught in high school on financial literacy. Now, when you teach these skills early on in high school, in kindergarten, well, not I was in kindergarten, but if you teach these skills earlier on, you will help students to avoid financial mistakes. And because they will avoid financial mistakes, they will become independent adults. When you teach about finance, about budgeting, credit, anything that has to do with literacy financially, you are preparing young men and young women in high school how to be an independent adult, how to know when to save, how to save it, and what to invest in. So, encouraging you all, educators, encouraging you all, it is very imperative that financial literacy be taught in high school. When they are taught in high school, young people, young minds, brain people will start to be educated on the importance of finance. Because these things are not taught in high school, they lack the civic knowledge, with men included. Now we have to be on the outside world learning how important it is to save, what a debt is, what credit. So schools should be able to teach financial literacy, help young people, help us to avoid financial mistakes, help young people to invest. So be very careful when it comes to credit. If you in America or outside world, it's going to help. And because of that, it's going to train you. It's going to train the young minds to be strong on how to save, how to invest, when to invest, where to invest in. The lack of knowledge on financial literacy makes a lot of young people now to be very financially irresponsible. And you can't blame them because they're not being taught in high school on what to save. So I'm encouraging all of our educators out there who are listening to us here on Sandra TV. Teach young people how to save. It is very important. When they start saving, we grow on to become an independent adult who knows how to save. It builds up students. It helps us. It helps us to be strong, to save, invest, build, prepare a career, shift. So it will help all of us to be very, very responsible when we grow up. So we're encouraging our educators here to invest their time, their energy, their resources in making young people to grow financially, save their money. It's important, very important, very important. So why is true that is that yes, high school wants people to be like more of means of going to school, scoring A's and B's. You want to teach about financial literacy. So I'm 100%, 1000% in favor of teaching financial literacy in school. Moving on, yeah, and this topic to me, this next topic to me is very important. But before we get on this topic, we'll take another break, another 1 minute break to be back, and we'll get into our conversation. 1 minute break, and we are back.
Train up, train up, train up, train up, train up to Central TV. Train up, train up, train up, train up, train up to Central TV. Veronica the boss for Central TV. She here to give you the best. Come and listen, everybody, to Central TV. We here to give you the best. Come and listen, enjoy the show. Come and listen to Central TV. We the best in time. Train up, train up, train up, train up, train up to Central TV. Train up, train up, train up, train up, train up to Central TV. Veronica the boss for Central TV. She here to give you the best. Ladies and gentlemen, it is time for the Central TV.
I love
Central TV is here.
Okay, welcome back to our Primetime Friday here on Sounddraw TV. My name is Leon Twazaman, and I am following this plane throughout our next couple of conversations. So if you're just joining us, we are looking at topics of discussions. We spoke about uh, the educational system, if what it is preparing youth for real life situation. We spoke about academics as compared to real life situations. We spoke about whether financial literacy should be taught in high school, and I gave you reasons why I think that it should be taught in high school. Moving on, I want to talk about learning, learning as a whole. Whether it's high school or university or colleges, right? Should students be learning for grades or knowledge now in in our contemporary setting? Yeah. Are students learning for grades, or they are learning to acquire the knowledge that are required for whatever degree work that they are in? You see, in our educational setting today, whether it's Liberia or United States, many of our students are more focused on achieving good grades. And don't get me wrong, it is very important to get good grades. Keep your GPA up. Keep your if you're in the university, keep your GPA up. It's very important to keep your GPA up, right? So many of us now we are in school for achieving good grades. In so doing, Many people acquire those good grades, but do not get the fundamentals of what they are learning. They're not understanding what they are learning. You know, the Bible says we have to study to show that self-approve. But the situation now in this generation is very different. You have a lot of A students, B students, C students who are earning A plus, B plus, but they don't know what they are doing. They do not know what they are doing because they lack the basic knowledge that is attached to understanding that materials. So if that is because that's the case, they don't have knowledge on what they are learning. We have to understand that grades are important because for some reason, I'm not for some reason, but it determines you getting scholarship, you getting college admissions. If you're in the United States, it give you recognition. It give you you know energy booster. So because of that, many students shift their mindset, shift their brains from being knowledgeable of the subject to studying today, getting a 100, and moving on. That is what they are doing. And that is absolutely not how it's supposed to be. It's absolutely wrong in every way, shape, means, or form. Students should not be getting their A's and B's without knowing why they're getting A's and B's. You know, they should not be getting A's and B's without understanding the materials that are being taught by the professor. They should not. Real education should go beyond scoring grades. It should go beyond scoring A's and B's. Real education should be centered around uh 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 in of crit it should be centered around critical thinking, around applying the knowledge in real situations. Learning should be curiosity, like I want to know why is this possible. Now, when students only chase grades, when grades are the only thing being chased here, they will forgo whatever thing they are doing and they will focus on getting the A's and B's because they're not curious enough. They are not knowledgeable enough to know what they are doing. But it's very important that in order for you to chase the grades, in order for you to learn what you are being taught, is to go beyond scoring the A's and B's. It should be the fire, curiosity, and why this is what it is. It should not be limited to you scoring 90s and 85 and 100s. Now, don't get me wrong, they are very important. Scoring 100s are very important. They are very necessary to score 100s. But do not score the 100 if you don't know why you scored the 100. You cannot justify why you scored the 100. Learn it. Learn it. Because when you learn it, even if you score a 70, the fact that that you know it, you have knowledge on the topic, then yes, you become educated about that topic. Are you with me? But if you just worry about scoring the 90s and 80s and 85 and 100 without knowing or having knowledge on it, mm, you don't know what you're doing. So it's not important to only chase the grades because the downside of that is you can chase the grade all you want. You can study, you can memorize, you can go there and ace the exam. But right after the last exam, everything that you've learned, you forget about it. You forget about it. But a genuine education means you understand the materials for the long-term growth, for the long-term success. So it's very important, very important, very, very important. that students do not just get the materials because they want to, but understand it for future term, for long term, so that when they are asked today or tomorrow what you learned, you'll be able to explain because you have comprehended what you learned. So I want to encourage all of our educators here to make sure that their students are not just scoring the A's without knowing what they are doing, but instead they are knowledgeable about the subject. We are in 2026, and the 21st century now. We have a lot of technology, iPhone, AI, ChatGPT, Gemini, a lot of technologies to help us. But the question is, those technologies that are being made now, what impact is it on education? Is it helpful or distracting? Now that question is for you to answer. Is it helpful or distracting? You see, technology as a whole, it has made significant progress, and now people are more accessible to it. When it comes to the aspect of technology in education, is for me it's very beneficial because now we have students who can attend virtual conference, virtual classroom, virtual meetings. They can research topics. They can use educational apps like ChatGPT, Gemini. They can connect with the global learning environment. So it supports different style of learning through videos, through simulations, through interactive tools. But however, it can also serve as a distraction to many of our students. It can be distracting you. It gets distracting. That yes, it is here. So the changes with technology now is just the fact that we have to have that balance in education to know whether you know is helpful or harmful. That question can only be answered by you. What is helpful or harmful? So if we move on to talk about you know mental health, while we're on education, mental health should be taught in schools as a subject, because school plays a very important role in shaping our future. School goes beyond academics. You make friends out there, you make family, you meet husbands, you meet wives, you meet everlasting friendship. So mental health education should be prioritized at the university level. It's because it's going to help you to handle situation under stress, anxiety, emotional attachment, well-being, how to speak to people, how where it's going to support you. These things should be taught because, believe it or not, mental health is very important. Life skills should also be taught in school, like the communication skill. It should all be taught in school. If it don't be taught in school, it's not going to help us. So we're going to take another 2 minutes break, and then we're going to close our discussions for today.
We here to inform you, listen and be inspired. Central TV is here, we the best now in time. Oh, listen and be inspired. Turn up, turn up, turn up, turn up, turn up to Central TV. Turn up, turn up, turn up, turn up, turn up to Central TV. Veronica the boss for Central TV. She here to give you the best. Come and listen, everybody, to Central TV. We here to give you the best. Come and listen, enjoy the show. Come and listen to Central TV. We the best in time. Turn up, turn up, turn up, turn up, turn up to Central TV. Turn up, turn up, turn up, turn up, turn up to Central TV. Veronica the boss for Central TV. She here to give you the best.
All right, guys, let's continue. So, we'll lastly talk about our last two topics as it relates to exams, standardized testing exams, exams. Youths, young adults that are in universities, that are doing something for themselves. The question is, should exams or are exams the best way to measure intelligence? See, I saved this for the very last. Should exams be the best way to measure the student intelligence? Now, don't get me wrong, yeah. Exams are useful for testing the student for testing how well the student know what you are teaching them. However, I don't think it is the best way to test the knowledge. And here's why. Why it's true that exams are the professor way of understanding whether the student know it or not, but students focus on short term. Like I'm studying for this exam, test taking abilities. I'm just studying because I want to pass. And because of that, you find many intelligent students struggle with exams due to anxiety, their learning style, or pressure. And it's not because they're not smart. It's not because they're not smart enough, but because exams are being used to determine whether the students know it or not. I've always been one of those students who have argued that exams are not the best way to determine whether the student know it or not. Because I can memorize the note from the first page from page one to page last. I'm gonna pass it because it's the best way, because I have to do it. But I am not going to fully understand. And you have students who are intelligent enough to not be smart or to not have test taking strategies, but still be able to explain to you what they know. Now, many students who are not who don't understand test taking strategies, who are intelligent, you will see them, excelling in creativities, excelling in leadership, excelling in communication. They'll excel in problem solving. They'll excel on hands to hands basis. Do you know why? Because intelligence comes in different form, ways, and shape. Some of us struggle in mathematics and science. Some of us struggle in biology, but some students are gifted in art. So the same ones who will struggle in economics are gonna be the same one to ace business, to ace social interaction. It's not because they're not smart, right? So you see what happens because their intelligence are different when it comes to learning the materials. So why should they may not be your average test takers to ace the exams? But I promise you, they have they're intelligent enough to excel on other side of the spectrum. They may not give you the 100s. I mean, they're not smart. But outside of the mathematics, they can ace business, they can ace the math, they can ace the art, they can ace anything. So I'm encouraging you, teachers out there, as we close this segment of the show, remember, exams are not the best way to measure intelligence. Remember that mental health is very important, and as such, it should be discussed and taught in school. Remember that technology as a whole is important too. It can be important, it cannot be important. Remember that students should be able to be taught financial literacy. And lastly, students should be able to have, or schools should teach students the ability to handle real life situations. So next Friday, we'll have our youth guest, panelists here with us, and we'll delve more into we listen to other people's opinion. So this is how I would like to bring this spectrum of Standard TV's 30 minutes podcast to an end. Thank you for staying with me, and I will be right with you on next Friday. Remember, Saturday, tomorrow, we'll be having the president of the United Nima Citizen Council National here on Sandra TV. And then on Sunday, we'll kick off the debut of the religious hour. So we will remember that, and we'll see you here at Sandra TV. God bless you.